Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to AMC Versus, coming to you from the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. Now, this is the show where we take a topic. You know, like last week we did, who's the better Harrison Ford character, Han Solo or Indiana Jones? We take a topic, we discuss the pros and the pros and the cons of both sides, debate it a little bit. We each give our verdict, but then ultimately we throw it over to you guys to vote to tell us which side actually wins. Now, before I introduce the esteemed panel that is joining me here today, I will say that last week we did the Indiana Jones versus Han Solo, who is the better Harrison Ford character, and the winner of that, according to your vote, was Indiana Jones. 65% to 35% for Indiana Jones over Han Solo. So that was the winner of last week's Versus. Now, this week's Versus is actually going to be this topic. Which was the better movie in theaters this year? Now, we understand Frozen actually opened in 2013, but it was still in theaters this year. What was the better animated film in theaters so far this year? Frozen or the Lego Movie? Here to discuss the pros and cons and debate the issue with me, first of all, on my left is Mr. John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on? Let's get into this animated discussion.
Miss Alicia Malone.
Hi, I'm angling for us to all sing this one. Do it all in musical numbers?
Yeah, I'm going to sing all the dialogue. Okay. And of course, the guy who we can never get to stop singing every day, Mr. Dennis Zed.
I don't think you want to hear my singing. It's pretty terrible.
We're all going to break into song. All right, so let's start with this guy. Let's start with the pros then. Let's start with Frozen. Now, Frozen is a box office juggernaut. Mm-hmm. It has made just under $1.2 billion at the box office. It is the highest grossing animated film of all time. So a lot of positives about this. But Alicia, let's start with you. If you had to make the argument about why Frozen is the best animated film to be in theaters this year so far, what would you say to that?
Well, I would say that Frozen has all the hallmarks of the Disney princess films that I grew up with, that I certainly loved. It's got the cute little sidekick, it's got great characters, and those very catchy songs. I have not been able to get Let It Go out of my head for months now. And I will say on the female side of things, because you know that's what I'm passionate about, it has some great female characters. It is all about female empowerment, and it's probably the most progressive of the Disney film, and I think worthy of the Oscar. For sure.
Yeah, Dennis, you had to defend the position that Frozen is the best this year so far. How would you respond?
Definitely really catchy songs. It's charming, it's funny, and also, yeah, it does have a really positive message because it's not focused on so much the romantic. There is a romance in the movie, but that's not the main focus. It's about the two sisters, and that's what ultimately the act of love prevails over, instead of like, oh, you need a man, everything's about the man, blah, 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 that stuff.
Yeah, and this might be considered a bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen Frozen, but if you're watching a debate about Frozen, that's on you. That's your problem. I love it. This film did take some twists and turns that we haven't seen in an animated film before, right? Like that whole thing about she's got to get real love. She has to encounter real love. Yeah. And it came out that it's not about her getting the man. I love that you brought that up. It was about, no, the love between these sisters is the most genuine, authentic love that you could have in this movie. And I love that they had that little twist on it at the end. I also like the fact that they had that, I didn't see the twist coming about the guy being a dick. They convinced me in the first 2 acts of the film that he was another good guy. And I was really feeling like, for the most part, Frozen doesn't have a villain per se until you get to that 3rd act and you realize he was Dick, and I got to give it to him. I didn't see that twist coming. The music is so good. Like, it's not Lion King good, but it's a really good musical. I found I enjoyed all the songs in it. Obviously, Let It Go stole the show, deserved all the accolades it got, and all the memes it got online and everything, all that kind of stuff. And it's weird that, you know, a song from a movie could propel the idea of needing a sequel. But you're right. It's also got the little sidekick characters. I thought the moose was great. I love how Disney in recent years takes, whether they're horses or anything like that, and really make them dogs.
Right.
Because I'm a dog guy. But yeah, the music, I love that it had 2 leads. Like it's a Disney princess movie. This one, we had 2 princesses.
Yeah. Right.
And they were both wonderfully done. The voice acting was great. It's a solid film. Maybe Schnepp, your thoughts. How would you argue with me to say Frozen's the best one?
Yeah. So if I was forced to say that I loved Frozen, no, I mean the positive aspects that I came away with from Frozen were definitely family and the bond that is family. So that was the unexpected twist that you guys just talked about, like the sisters needing each other and like reuniting in the end, and the twist with the villain as well. I didn't see that coming. I definitely saw. I thought it was going to be like, well, who's going to win out, this guy or this guy? They were gonna, kind of building it up towards they're going to at some point going to have a little chivalrous battle or something. And then it's like, nah, that guy's a dick. Like you said, it's like, and they really did a good job. And one could say it was a quick turn as far as in the script writing process. He instantly became a bad guy. But if you look at it in the process of the story, it's like, no, all the elements are there of how he weaseled his way in.
Yeah.
Every part of the turn are there, but it was well done because you didn't see it. So I definitely say that was a good story point, especially for adults if you're watching it. Like, I think it was a good thing for adults, and that's why it made $1 billion, is because families are going to see it. It's not just you and your girlfriend or you and your boyfriend going to see it. It's a whole cluster of families all like singing with the song. And, so that's like 5 or 6 ticket sales every time they see it, and it's multiple viewings. Billion.
Yeah. One of the other things that no one's really mentioned, or a lot of people don't think about when they think about Frozen, is the fact that and once again, people get their backs up a little bit when I use this term with animated films. The cinematography in Frozen is really quite beautiful.
Yeah.
And you really don't have to look any further than the Let It Go musical moment, right? The way they decide to have the camera, as it will, the sweeping movements, and they knew just when to have a really broad, landscape shot to really tight and intimate. Like everything, all the decisions they made from that point of view, I thought was really well done.
Snow was so beautiful, the ice, and watching it in 3D on the big screen, you really felt immersed in that world. I love the way they did the animation.
Yeah. All right, so before we get then into Lego Movie, let's look on the opposite side of the coin here. Dennis, we'll start with you on this one. What are some of the things that you think go against Frozen? What are some of the reasons you say, no, Frozen can't be considered the best because of this?
I mean, a lot of minor things. I feel like with the villain turn, I think that was good, but I think I personally wanted a longer period of time of when he was a dick, like just to make the villain feel bigger than he was, because I think that the turn happens at the third act,
and late in the third act.
Late in the third act, and then we quickly. I wish we could see more of his villainous ways, and I think that's part of it. I think also, maybe just for me personally, the story seemed a little bit disjointed in a way. Like we kind of know what was going on, but then they were kind of just hopping here and there,
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree with you. I found that the weak part of Frozen was the story, because they made these characters that were so likable that they really rested on the likability of these characters. And there's nothing wrong with that, but behind that, it would be cool if you had a really good, consistent, logical narrative behind it. And I found that, you're right, I agree with you. It felt a little bit disjointed. The rock trolls. What was with the rock trolls? And that one song that the rock trolls did, I thought that was stupid. I didn't like that at all. So you're right. Consistency of the story, the rock trolls moment. I think there were some. I think they shortchanged. I can't remember the actual good guy. The guy with the moose. I forget the character's name. But
Blondie.
Blonde guy.
Kristoff, I think is his name.
Yeah, Kristoff. I thought they could have given us more into him, minus the rock troll stuff. I wasn't so big in the rock troll stuff, but that would be my biggest quirks against. So what about you?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing about the villain. Yeah, I wanted to see him be that dickish character for a while to have the payoff. But I like the animation, but I am kind of sick of the big-eyed thing that Disney does. It's just so unrealistic, and the women, of course, never look quite true to form. But and the story is a little bit weak, and I didn't like so much of the reliance on the teen speak. They tried to make it really hip for a young audience. I didn't like that so much, and it's probably a film that is more for kids, although families enjoyed it.
Schnapp, why would you argue against Frozen?
A lot of reasons. For me, I just felt, as far as being a Disney film and going with seeing some of the classics, Snow White, Peter Pan, any of the actual classics of Disney, this one just is not up there for me in the ranks of what maybe in 20 years, who knows? Maybe I'll be dead in 20 years. But I'm just saying, for me, the songs were not catchy enough for me It just really felt like I could write these songs. Like, I'm sitting at AMC drinking some water, look at me. You know, just like it's like really like and that's how I felt.
I don't know
like,
what you're complaining about. I think you got a hit right there.
I'm just saying.
I think you got a hit.
Off the top of my head, I could write an
G-Cannon
entire
comes back
AMC
again.
Frozen
First
musical,
track
son.
on G-Cannon.
All right, G-Cannon, first track. Look at me. I'm
Throwing
sitting
it
here with
down.
AMC. So I'm just saying, like, for me, like, personally, I was like, because I had seen it, and here's the truth to be told, I haven't seen it in I didn't see it in the theater in 3D. I saw it on an airplane. So that probably diminishes almost anything when you're seeing it on a tiny screen. I didn't see it in the beautiful animated spectrum of theater, so I will go see it again just to see that, because I didn't enjoy it as much as everyone told me how much I would enjoy it. So maybe that was the high expectation part. The story was definitely uneven. I agree with you guys on that. But the other aspect to me that bothered me was the little snowman character. Like, his humor was so jarring and different, and he kept like showing up. It was almost like it was this thing like, oh, here's like a slightly adult segment, and then bring in this like goofball thing. It just never gelled with me, so I didn't find myself enjoying either parts of it because it was so uneven, at least even for the comedy part.
All right, well, now let's go to the other side of the screen then. Let's talk about the Lego movie. And Schnepp, let's start with you with this one. You had to make the argument that Lego was the best movie. How would you do it?
Everything is awesome. All right, just right off the bat, we were talking about songs.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, like a song that I actually enjoyed and remembered. Like, honestly, I can't remember any Frozen song. You guys were saying "Let It Go,"
yeah.
and I was like in the Beatles, "Let it go, let it go," because like I can't remember anything.
You do know that's "Let It Be," right?
Yeah.
Or "Let Her Be."
No, I do.
Yeah,
I know,
okay,
but I'm
good.
just saying it's like.
And the
it's just
Sesame
like,
Street version is what I remember. The "Let Her Be, Let Her Be."
But that's what I mean. It's like nothing. I didn't walk away from Frozen with a song. I did walk away with the awesome song from Lego.
Everything is awesome. Now we're gonna be singing that for the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
So and aside from that song, it was just a really enjoyable film. I thought the direction was top notch. If I was going to compare Lego Movie to Frozen and just those two movies alone, and like there's no other animated movies on the planet, Lego destroys Frozen as far as from a director's point of view and from a story point of view and from unexpected kind of twists and turns point of view. I mean, spoilers if you haven't seen the Lego movie, but humans are involved towards the end. Like, there's a lot of like fun concepts that they brought in, like high concepts that they just like kind of like just brought in smoothly and you didn't question it. It wasn't awkward or weird. There weren't story points that were jiggity jaggedy. With Frozen, I got bored, you know? With Lego, I was never bored. So, I mean, those are just a few of the things for me. Like Lego, like I said, like the animation.
So I guess we don't
direction.
even have to bother asking you what your verdict is at the end because you've already kind of given it away.
Frozen is the what? Yeah, right. My verdict is for the Iron Giant. What?
Alicia, let's go with you. You got to make the argument for Lego Movie. How do you start?
I start by saying it is just so clever, this film, on every level. And I think no matter who you are, whether you played with Lego as a kid, whether you didn't, if you are still a kid or if you're a big kid or if you're an adult, you will love this movie because it works on so many different levels. The story is great. I love the message about how everyone is special in their own way. I think that's really positive. The jokes were so funny. There was just tiny little things in there, little references, like the coffee being super expensive. You know, I just love all those little things. Plus, I went with a friend who was obsessed with Lego when he was young, and he was pointing out all these little things like the astronaut with the helmet that doesn't do up, and in the film it's
got the little
still
crack
open.
in it too.
Yeah, so all things like that, I felt like it's just so layered and so well done. Phil Lord, Chris Miller, I think they're geniuses, and the animation, which was done in Sydney, Australia, looks incredible. They got the stop motion thing while being, you know, computer animated, and everything, including water, being made out of Legos. Plus, I love the characters like Batman showing up.
I'm glad you
It's
brought that one
awesome.
point because I was talking about the computer animation in Lego once, and I had one of our viewers really upset with me, and like right to me, this is John, like I'm an idiot. Well, I mean I am an idiot, but like really putting it to me that I'm an idiot, John. That Lego was stop motion animated. can't you tell? It's like, actually, no, it wasn't. That's part of the
That's the
genius of the animation, is
It
that
looks
they
like
did
you've
it
made it
to
yourself.
look like it was stop motion animated, but it was not stop motion animated. I'm glad you brought that up. Dennis, how would you defend it?
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's the funniest movie I've seen this year, and there's just jokes after jokes after jokes, and there's jokes on different levels. There's jokes for kids, and there's jokes for adults. And,
Yeah.
like the
There's
coffee.
a lot of adult humor.
Yes,
in it.
a lot of
Actually,
adult
yeah.
humor that's in there, and a lot of like in jokes, whether you know about more adult stuff or just like Batman, his song "Darkness,"
Yeah, and like,
stuff
who's
like
Bruce
that.
Wayne? I don't know who Bruce Wayne
So
is.
the
What are you talking
pacing
about?
of it,
He sounds like a cool guy.
the pacing of it's great. It's like I wasn't bored for a single minute of it. It just keeps going, 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 and visually, even it does mimic that stop motion style, but it's perfect for it. And when you're watching, I think that's why kids loved it so much, even if they didn't get all of the jokes. Visually, they were stimulated by it.
This movie, I had to see it 3 times in theaters, and I'm not convinced I saw all the jokes.
Yeah.
Because the first time I saw it, joke happens, we're all laughing hysterically, and you can see they're still talking on screen, and I'm missing something because we're all laughing so hard. Then I saw it again, I picked up on a few more. I saw it a third time, picked up on a few more. It's just layered with humor, layer upon layer and upon layer. And you're right, the multi-dimensional use of humor. It wasn't just the kid stuff. It wasn't just adults. It wasn't just pop culture. It wasn't just older culture. It was like this. Lord and Miller brought in this huge canvas of different types of humor they could draw from. Even physical comedy. Tons of physical comedy in it at the same time. So well done. And you know what? I often go off on the fact that you don't need celebrities to do the voices of characters. I have a very difficult time envisioning anybody other than Chris Pratt doing Emmett. Like Chris Pratt, his voice created that character. And
Or
it was,
Liam Neeson as the cop.
Oh, that
Liam
is
Neeson
brilliant.
when Liam Neeson does good cop and he's talking like this, it's like my mind is trying to picture Liam Neeson talking like this.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman as the godlike character. It's so
Yeah,
brilliant.
I mean, it's just, it really did, they did a great job of really leveraging the personalities of the voice actors they got to really infuse more personality into the characters. And I still am of the belief that you should get professional voice actors, this kind of stuff, but there's to everything, there's an exception. To me, this was an exception. They did that really, really well. The animation was beautiful, the music was great. Not just everything is awesome, but just the score of the film felt perfect. It fit right in. It did everything right on that level. So yeah, I mean, it's just one of the most enjoyable films.
There was something you both brought up. It was also about the animation. The animation director is a pal of mine from old school in Chicago,
Oh,
Chris
yeah?
McKay.
Yeah.
And he comes from Robot Chicken. He directed most of the first, I think the first 5 seasons of Robot Chicken. So that's where a lot of those little in jokes that we're all getting and seeing and appreciating is because he's kind of schooled into not only doing stop motion, even though most of the Lego movie was done with computer animation. They also did some stop motion with real Legos, but most of it was computer animated. But the whole that use of using everything on the screen and little in jokes and the actual animation quality of using stop motion and making that part of the humor. That's what it's great. And Chris McKay is going to be directing the Lego movie sequel. So he's the main director now. So, all right, Chris.
Go, Chris.
Here's one thing. I brought this up in the review we did, but a lot of people still don't get this. You talk to people about the Lego movie. It's like, okay, yeah, this was basically a story told from the perspective of this kid's imagination, that this kid was doing this imaginary thing. Everybody forgets. There is right near the end, when we're in the human world of it, there is an element of the supernatural in this. Because remember, Will Ferrell is sitting at his table, and he's got Emmett down on the thing, and he starts to physically move. There is a supernatural element to this that they still have not completely explained. I'm sure they'll go into it in the sequel. So, all right, let's get into the reasons why I wouldn't go for this movie, and I'll start with this. I'm going to give the same criticism to Lego Movie that I gave to Frozen, in the sense that when you really sit down and look at the one-page thing of what the story is, it's not a super compelling story. It's not an in-depth story. It's not like it has twists and turns. There are a few, but to me, there's very, very surface. So the plot, if you will, to me was not the strongest part of this movie at all. I also didn't find the human part of it to be all that compelling. I think I walked out of the theater, and while there are elements of it that I really like, seeing Will Ferrell come down the stairs, that's funny and everything, I almost felt like if they just stayed in the Lego world and just made it a Lego movie and whatever, I would have walked out just as happy. So while it was novel and neat, I found it didn't add much to it. So to me, that didn't really work. And that's all I got. That's pretty much all I got for why I wouldn't vote for it. Schnepp, what about you? What would you say are some of the arguments against the Lego Movie?
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't want to mimic what you just said, but I definitely think that because they brought in that human element, but they brought it in so late and only a few scenes, and then the movie's over.
Yeah.
It didn't integrate with the entire film. So for me, like watching the movie, I was really into it beginning, really into it in the middle, started to fall off a little bit for me just because things started going like that, and then it just ended. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it obviously had its climax. The bad guy got squashed, but like you said, the little things that they introduced, that if I'm gonna bring up a negative quality to it, it would be that. Otherwise, I don't really find anything really too negative about it. It's a very fun family film. It's fun for adults. It's fun for kids.
No more positives about it.
Oh,
We've
right,
done
negative.
the positives about it.
Sorry,
Dennis, how would you
negatively,
argue against the Lego Movie?
Yeah, I mean, there's so little things that are negative about this movie. I mean, I guess maybe the pace, while it's frantic, maybe that's too much for some people. Maybe people want a little bit of a breather for it.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I think when we came out of when we saw it together, I might have actually said that it is a very frantically paced film.
Yeah.
There is no time to breathe in it.
I mean, I personally didn't mind it, but maybe
Right.
there are other people who think that same way. And
Oh wait, I thought of something negative. Hold on.
Yeah.
The Green Lantern outfit was from the movie Green Lantern. It had a striated muscle suit, and the whole time Superman was like, "Look, I don't want to hang out with you, dude." And I remember walking away. I was like, I think that was like a subtle hint that there was like Superman didn't want to be around the stench of the bad Green Lantern movie.
Schnepp having his
Probably.
sweaty moment
Yeah,
over there.
sweating it out, folks. It was just a little sweaty nerd moment. It was like, they're using the Green Lantern striated suit and not the original just green suit. Aha. So that's a negative. There we go.
What do you think, Alicia?
I love your voice when you do this.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I mean, at its core, I guess it is a corporate film. It is designed to make you buy Lego. God damn it, it worked. So it's not really a con. Okay, I'm going to be called a feminist again on the YouTube comments, but I don't care. There's only one female character, main female character. She's cool, wild style. She's a cool chick. She's dating Batman. That's pretty awesome. But they needed more female characters, and I'm so glad to see that your buddy Chris McKay is going to fix that for the sequel.
Yeah, one of my favorite running jokes through the movies, whenever she mentions her names and somebody says, "Are you a DJ?"
Yeah.
That was like one of the great ones. All right, it's verdict time. So I got a feeling I'm seeing where this is going to go,
Yeah.
but we'll go through the paces here anyway. And remember, we're going to tell you what we think the verdict is, but ultimately it's up to you guys. Make sure you look in the description of this video, and you'll see a link where you can go and vote. But for now, let's get to our verdict. Dennis, what is the best animated film that has been in theaters this year, Frozen or the Lego Movie?
Well, yeah, obviously this is the easy one for me. It's Lego Movie. I saw it 3 times in the theater. I loved it. I loved the movie. It's my favorite movie so far this year. Frozen, I really liked it, but I thought it was overrated, and I don't think I fell in love with it as much as other people did. I think it relied a little more on the strength of the songs, the catchiness of the
Right.
songs, versus the actual narrative. And Lego Movie, it had everything in spades, and kids and adults can enjoy it just the same.
Alicia?
The Lego Movie, I mean, it really surprised me. You would have no clue where they would go just given the world of Lego. They could have gone anywhere, but
Yeah.
they chose a really smart story and great characters, and I loved it. So I think Lego Movie, it has that elusive something for everyone.
And I really did love Frozen. I really enjoyed that film an awful lot, but everything is awesome. The Lego Movie to me wins. Just the pure driving, nonstop entertainment of the film. It's just relentlessly good. It's just laugh after laugh, really cute, really quirky. I think I might like Frozen more than anybody else on this panel. I enjoyed the film a lot. I thought they had great character development, especially with their leads. But overall, to me, to say that you come in second to Lego Movie is not a bad thing. Lego Movie is just too good.
Yeah, I'm obviously going to go with Lego Movie. I felt Frozen was a lot flatter, and the characters never popped out for me. And I went into Lego Movie thinking I wouldn't even really like it that much. I thought it was just really going to be more for kids with a few adult jokes. But actually, it was like a great mix for adults and kids. It was really just a really fun story. Of course, they have all these branded characters and icons, and I think the Millennium Falcon was in there for a minute, and
Yes.
Batman's in. So it was this kind of really fun crossover that you just don't expect, but done in this Lego fashion that as kids I'm sure all of us played with Legos, and so it is really one of these kind of weird cross-generational things, which is just all about buying toys and money, yet somehow you don't even think about it while you're watching it. So to me, it's definitely Lego was the more enjoyable animated film.
All right, folks. Well, like I said before, the real verdict here needs to come from you. Look in the description of this video. You'll see a link where you can go and vote Frozen or the Lego Movie, and we'll announce the winner on the next episode of Versus. So go do your thing. For Dennis Zen, Alicia Malone, John Schnepp, my name's John Campia for AMC Movie News. Thanks for joining us, guys. And until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.